This is a video I planned on making months ago, but once I actually started making, editing, and filming the video, I just couldn't make a full video on this topic because I didn't have that much to talk about. But now that I've been playing, a lot more Smash through the summer, I can finally compile all the information I've gained into this video. Now, why am I making this video? Well, I was working on a different video, and in the video, I was explaining a lot of different things about Arsene, and I realized, wow, I have a lot I need to talk about this character or mechanic, and I can't really put it all here because, Arsene's not the gist of the video. So I want to make this video to explain Arsene better as a mechanic and give my thoughts on it as a Joker main. So let's start this out nice and simple with Arsene's strengths. Arsene gives bigger hitboxes on all of his moves. It's most notable though on back air, forward air, down air, his smash attacks, and it actually gives his Nair a second hitbox on the back of the move rather than increasing the range, which is a common misconception. It actually changes his down air into a spike. And a fun fact about the move, actually, it's two moves happening at once, Arsene's spike and Joker's down air. So it's possible to just hit them with Joker's down air and not with Arsene's, and not get the spike. Arsene also powers up gun. It gives more damage to his gun by increasing the amount of bullets shot at once, and just increasing by the damage in general. The one I commonly see people complain about the most though is his down special change. It changes his down B into a counter / reflector type deal. Sounds pretty standard for a DLC character to have something, like this. But then you realize why people complain about it when you look at the hitbox. Not even I as a Joker main can defend this. I will admit this is some bullshit. Side special becomes much faster and bigger. Sometimes I see people kind of overlook the fact that this move does do more chip damage than normal E-Haw. Eagon does 1.5% where E-Haw does 1%. It doesn't sound that big, but you gotta remember, this is damage he is getting continuously off of hitting you once with an aerial. So, it's pretty good. And, the most obvious one is the fact that, it just increases damage around the board. Everyone knows it's kind of simple. I'm not going into all the percents here. If you care that much, just look them up. So it makes sense that with all of these amazing strengths, Arsene will have some sort of weak spot or weakness somewhere, which he does. The most notable one by far is his recovery. Grappling Hook changes into Wings Rebellion, which is just pitch recovery, but it goes slightly higher. I know some of you are asking, why is this a weakness? Well, it's easy to two-frame. It is very common for Joker to fully lose Arsene, or hit even his stock, just because he got two-framed like 4 or 5 times in a row. It makes some matchups way harder than they need to be. The one I always like to point to is Rob, simply because if he two-frames you, you're dead. Rob is simply really good at two-framing, because his down air is huge and lasts forever. If it lands, it spikes and kills you. There's barely any chance to recover unless you're at 0. The gist of the whole recovery thing is it turns Joker's pretty flexible and good recovery to a very linear and easy to two-frame recovery with Arsene. And please keep in mind, I didn't even mention other matchups like Wolf or Pala. Now, a weakness has to do with the mechanic itself is the fact that it is on a meter. This means you can simply camp out Arsene and not have to deal with it. I know that's a bit stretching it because not every character can simply camp it out. And Joker, does have tools to help with this, like Gun and Eagon. But it happens way more often than I think it should. Characters that have good keep away, run away, or just good mobility in general are mainly what Joker's annoying matchups look like. Characters like Sonic, Pikachu, and Inkling do better than most characters in this matchup, simply because they're just very good at running away and keeping Arsene away from them. Now, I'm not saying, they lose or win the matchup or anything, I'm just saying they have good tools for stalling out the big man. Now, another weakness of the fact that it is a meter is that whenever you get hit, you gain meter if you don't have Arsene already, or you lose meter if you have Arsene active and you get hit. Both of these, mechanics make sense. I'm not sitting here saying we should remove these mechanics, because no, then Joker's best character in the game free, Meta Knight level broken. But that doesn't make them any less of a weakness for him, dude. Obviously, having Arsene is never that bad of a thing because the crazy strengths he grants you with it, but you generally want it more towards the end or even the middle of a stock. Characters like Peach, Pikachu, and even Rob just have no problem putting huge damage on you quickly, and you get Arsene early. But you normally, you'll get the move around 70-ish%, 70, 60, somewhere in that area, because dealing damage does give you meter. This does put you sometimes in bad situations with Arsene, where you don't actually get your second Arsene stock, you normally get about 2 a stock, so Depending how much damage they do to you during your first Arsene actually decides if you get Arsene or not next time. And if you get Arsene pulled on you early stock, it's way more likely you don't get your second Arsene. Now, okay, he does have his normal down special, Jokers, which is just the counter, I think it's Rebellion something, Rebel's Guard, that move. It does like give you Arsene meter, but once again, it's still a counter-like move. So if your opponent calls you out or knows you're gonna do it, he's just gonna sit there and charge S-Mash in your face, and the second you drop that mask, you're dead. The only other weakness I can really think for Arsene is that you can ruin some of your true combos with some moves like down tilt, but that's just being picky at this point because the other strengthening combos he gives you, and even like your main combos you're fishing for, like drag down into whatever or fair into whatever, you still have those. So I mean, I'm just being picky. If there are any weaknesses or even strengths I just forgot to mention in this video, please tell me in the comments, because I'd love to know what other Joker mains think, or even what non-Joker mains think, because I just want to know more. Okay, so now that I've explained Arsene's weaknesses and strengths, what are my thoughts on him? Now, I am a Joker main, so of course, you know, I'm a bit biased here, but I do agree some aspects of Arsene are just a bit too good. Mainly his down special, honestly, and it's the best counter reflector in the game free. Only change I think they need to make to it is just making the hitbox smaller. I feel like any other nerf would really hurt the character or the mechanic, and that would like drop him on the tier list, because Arsene is what's keeping him up there, trust me. But personally, I really don't like how they use Arsene in Smash. I'd much rather have Arsene just in his moveset somehow, rather than just kind of tacking it on at the end of it with a mechanic. In the games, he uses his personas to use special moves like Honeygon using SP, which is like a limited magic resource. They obviously, you know, didn't want to give him SP meter because not only would that just make him feel like a hero ripoff, or hero feel like a ripoff of him, but that just wouldn't fit with the character archetype they were trying to put Joker into, which is, you know, fast, mobile, and safe like Sheik. I would love to see Arsene put in the Joker's moveset like how personas work in the Persona 4 Arena games. I don't know how this would fully work without them either overutilizing Arsene or underutilizing it. The characters in Persona 5 are kind of completely different from the ones in Persona 3 and 4. So, you know, it makes sense for Joker to fight on his own, but I would just love to see Arsene used in a more creative way, I guess. The Persona series is, you know, my favorite series, and Joker's my favorite character in Smash, by far, so, you know, I'd just love for him to see a little bit more creativity in the moveset rather than just making him broken. Or, you know, they could just add another Persona rep and give them the arena treatment, you know. But, you know, that's asking for too much. But then again, Akechi for Last Fighter, please. I would be so happy. But that's all I really got. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe or I will go homeless.